Hi everybody, Dylan here, living aboard with Chihuahua story beginning part 2. On the third day, Joe drove us to his house to get our car, and then we drove it down to Marathon and he followed us so he could drop the car off. We spent a day doing this, and on the way back to the boat we found Chi having back problems. Ciao!
We wanted to take the car down to Marathon, and Joe was going to follow us and bring us back up to the boat. We spent a day taking the car down. With the car down there, we were ready to set out cruising once again. Joe dropped us off at the marina. We took the dink back to the boat and found Chi having severe back spasms. He has had these all his life, and I usually have some prednisone on hand, but I was out of it. We went ashore and walked to a veterinarian. We no longer had the car, and Joe had gone home. The first vet office we came to was closed, so we walked on to the next one, which was open. We got enough prednisone for the rest of the trip. Chi was feeling better within a few hours. We were ready to set out once again. We had no plans to stop anywhere, so we went as far as we could make it before dark. We made it to Stuart. Oof. And I had been living in the Indian Town Marina prior to our trip to Marathon. We did extensive work on our sailboat there. We also played the guitar and sang for a living. Prior to our trip to Marathon, we had been playing in Stuart, Florida, in a restaurant owned by someone we had met while entertaining on the cruise ships. His name was Bob Davis. Bob decided to get off the ships, and he opened a restaurant called the Jolly Sailor. He asked us to play there, and we did for 3 years. Many years later, here we are in Stuart and the Stuart Anchorage. The city marina has a restaurant and bar called Sailor's Return. We went there for dinner, and lo and behold, it is Bob's new restaurant. He sold the Jolly Sailor and opened the Sailor's Return. He was doing a great business there. And there are over 100 boats in the marina. We had dinner there and talked to Bob about old times. This part of the Intracoastal is built up. There are no spoil islands to take the dogs to. We found a sandbar and took the dogs for a romp. The water was about 6 inches over the bar, and the dogs splashed and played their little hearts out. There's also a park that you can dink into. The dogs are allowed in the park on a leash. The park is within walking distance to downtown. Yip and uff.
From Jazz. Woof, woof. I must tell you, this boating life is the best. We were on a sandbar, and it was full of crabs. I thought Dylan was going to explode. There were so many. Ella caught one, and we all had a grand chase after her.
Hi everybody, living aboard with Chihuahuas, end part 2. Jazzy's talking about her trip to a sandbar and how they all had a blast catching crabs and chasing Ella, who had the one crab they all wanted. So, around and around and around they chased her, and she dropped the crab and Taco was on it right away. Ciao.